before starting, although it is a just welcoming slide, but I just catch this word ADC. Anybody is aware about ADC word?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's application delivery control.
Application delivery controller. Thank you, Ismail. So ADC is application delivery controller. So let me tell you, those who are very new in the F5, okay, F5 says that what is big IP? Maybe I am coming to that. Just allow me some time. So what F5 says, people generally who are not aware about any of the thing, they say LTM is a load balancer. Okay, this is a very common myth, I will say. Everybody will be speaking out that, okay, this is a load balancer, this is a load balancer, I need to go for the load balancer. Although, what F5 claim is, it is not a load balancer, but it is more than that, a lot more than that. And that is the reason why they gave a term ADC, application delivery controller. Sooner or later, you will be able to understand what are the more features than the typical load balancer. But in this class, I would try to go with the basics because a lot of people are here who are not aware about F5. So application delivery controller, it is known as ADC. Now, if we will talk about F5, everybody should be aware F5 Networks is the company name, bit like your Cisco, Palo Alto, Juniper, Dell, or whatever name you say. Okay, this is the company. This company has a large suite of products, or I would say lot of products are there. One of the product range is BIG IP. Okay, BIG IP. This BIG IP again has further a lot of things, but we will be gonna talk about, like there are a lot of other things, enterprise, data solution product, or maybe NGX, or lot of products are there, but we will be focusing on the BIG IP product suite. And let me quickly go to the next slide where I would be showing you even BIG IP product suite family has lot of range available, like LT. Whatever we will be gonna cover into this class. This class, everybody should be aware, 20 plus. It can be 20, it can be 22, it can be 24, or depends. Okay, depend upon the timings, depend upon the speed, how people are able to grab it. So it is just like 20 plus minus, I will say. So we will be gonna cover all LTM module into this class. Then there are GTM, link controller, APM, ASM. ASM, by the way, currently named as advanced WAF. Advanced WAF. And GTM, by the way, is known as DNS. That was the former name. The current name is DNS. And LTM is named as ADC. We speak about ADC. Right? Then there are a lot of other things also, but these four, maybe not this. These four are literally doing a lot in the market. Even people who are working over here, probably I am speaking about the Indian market. So Indian market even offering approximately 35 plus. So that is the, maybe you can say, the thing, like how F5 people are very much demanding in the network. Okay, although these expertise, to get the expertise on these all of things is again a time consuming art, and you should be having a very good knowledge. But yeah, sooner or later you can understand, any skill is achievable. Just let me show you this slide where I am trying to represent that F5 LTM, when we are talking about load balancer, the load balancer work is what? Load balancer work is, maybe before this slide, let me talk about something on the whiteboard. There are some clients which are coming through internet, MPLS, SD-WAN, whatever technology, coming to your data center. Again, there can be IPS, IDS, okay, Arbor solution, or maybe n number of solutions are there. Then maybe firewall is there, okay, or the router is there before that. And then there are some server nodes. I'm just trying to tell you how legacy networks happens. So traffic used to come from here to the one. Let me have one server only, okay, just for the simplicity sake. Let us say this server is hosting abc.com. Any client who is coming to the abc.com, they are coming bit like that. Okay. Connections are coming to server directly and going through server directly through directly to the server. Okay. Now, what happened? Let us say in the same solution, we required more than one server for the redundancy, for the load sharing, or whatever maybe the reason is. I'm just removing all of the other things and putting F5 directly now. LAN, there are two servers, server 1, server 2. What happened is, now whenever connection will go bit like this. When connection will come back like this. Okay. I will be gonna talk about what is the difference. Now it is not going directly to the server. It is going directly to F5. And in the second mode, it is going to the server. Similarly, till here to F5, till here to client. Whenever we have such thing in picture, which divide the connection, or I will say, which have the connection onto itself, in between it is stopping, such device are known as, anybody wanted to say, what is the term?
Load balancer.
Proxy.
Oh, full proxy.
So these devices are full proxy. This side forward, this side reverse. So it is having forward and reverse both functions. So these devices are known as full proxy. But that all right, that we will use these things later on. But firstly, I was just explaining, trying to explain something.
Rathe, are you
Yes.
going to explain about the proxy, full proxy?
Okay. What is the question in the full proxy, Ismail?
No, just how does it work and everything.
So I will show you actually. Whenever the thing comes, I will show you. Don't worry. I will be showing you a couple of the practicals also.
That's fine.
Now let me tell you, whenever connections are coming, F5 will stop these connections and proactively see either both of my servers are up or running. First thing, up and running, yes. Second, what is the load? It will even check the load. My server 1 is overutilized. Now new connection should be going to server 2. So these are the things which is getting managed by your F5. So if I will go back to this slide, maybe you can see what it is doing. It is just balancing the load. And it is a default. Give me a minute. It is a default load balancing mechanism, which does not consider the load in this case, for this case only, but that is the functionality that F5 LTM will have it, but we are not using that into this particular picture. This is default load balancing mechanism named as round robin. See, in today's class, I am not touching any topic. I am just giving an overview. So please do not think like what we are doing. What is the topic? I am just trying to give you the foundation, because whenever I would be starting the topic, you should be aware what we are doing. So currently I am just trying to build the foundation, because we have a lot of people who are not using the F5. So for them, maybe I bit like for the people who are already working on the F5, you may feel like that it is very basic, very slow, but no, for the people who are not having the F5 knowledge, probably you need to manage with them. Okay. So this is named as load balancing. Now, not only that, everybody should be aware over the internet, since internet is not secure, you cannot send the HTTP traffic. HTTP traffic means the plain traffic. Plain traffic means anybody can open it, read it. Such traffic cannot be sent over the internet. Very huge security risk. Okay. And normally you can see that a lot of applications are not getting used HTTP in any case. If you will see any banking website, any shopping website, you can able to find out these are using HTTPS. S stands for secure. And to get this S, we should be having something named as certificate. Although there is a complete class, again, don't worry, I am just giving the overview. Okay, we will be going to talk about certificates. Again, there is a huge 1 hour of the session is there, or maybe 2 hours, I will say. Okay, but there are something certificates. These certificates, your client will, maybe let me just bring out my whiteboard again. Whenever client is coming with any request, it will be encrypted. Encrypted, everybody should be aware, because all of you are having a great experience. But just as a layman, I am telling you, you are sending a message named as hello. If you are sending it into the plain text, anybody can read it, anybody would have the information about it. But if you are doing some kind of encryption, again, what kind of cipher suits or maybe cipher suites, whatever you say, how it will be used, probably that is the later on topic. We cannot cover those things. But let us say it is converted into something. This is something like you are doing the encrypted. This is the encrypted packet. You are doing the encryption. Okay. Now, when you are doing the encryption, there is something known as certificate and the public key. This encrypted packet will go to the F5. F5 also have the certificate, the same certificate, plus something named as private key, so that whatever we are doing here, whatever encryption we are doing here, that can be decrypted again. F5 will read about it, whatever it need to do, it will do, and can send the traffic over. So that kind of functionality also available on the F5. Later on, we will read about how many type of SSL offloading is there, bridging is there, pass-through is there, a lot of things, but not now. It's not the correct time to talk about.
So basically, the traffic which is coming from the client to F5, it is encrypted traffic, and F5 will decrypt and will send to server, right?
Right. And when it is sending to the server, it can send as the encrypted and packet. It can send the decrypted also. It depends.
And when it will come to in reverse, it will come in the same way, or there will be any change?
Same.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
So when it is going to the client, it will be encrypted again. Okay.
Mhm.
Sure. So that is what encryption or decryption is showing over here, that encryption and decryption is getting done on the F5. From F5 to the server, it is unencrypted, again unencrypted, again encrypted from F5 to the client. So that is what we are showing over here onto this slide. So if I will talk about, I just give you an idea. It is doing the load balancing. One thing I showed you. Second thing I showed you, it is doing something SSL termination we are doing over here. And maybe I can say this is the centralized repository of all of the SSL certificates and the keys. Okay. So it offload that work of encryption and decryption from the server to the F5 directly. Although we will be going to talk about it again, I am saying in the detail, but currently I am just trying to give you some kind of overview. Then it used something named as one connect profile. Again, what are profile? We will be going to talk about in detail. What one connect does, please try to understand now. Very, very basic things these are. Okay. So can anybody please let me know what is three-way handshake of the TCP?
TCP three-way handshake is sign, acknowledge, and acknowledge.
So I hope everybody is on the same page because it's not a new thing. From the CCNA days, we are doing it. SYN, SYNAC, and I. Right? Whenever there is a TCP connection, we need to use such kind of thing. Now try to understand. I am saying whenever any client is coming through the internet or whatever medium, it is going to the F5, and from F5, it is going to the backend server. If there are thousands of clients, there would be thousands of three-way handshake. This side also there would be thousands of handshake, probably 500. I am just for the simplicity sake I am saying, right? I would try to ask, what is the requirement to send the handshake over this side again and again? Why can't we just do it one time and open for some of the duration and probably use the same TCP again and again? That work is done by something, a profile named as one. We will be going to talk only one tick mark you need to do. If you will talk about the configuration, nothing hanky panky, just a tick mark. But yeah, we should be aware what it does. So that is one connect profile. It can use and it can maybe, you can see that how much traffic can be saved. One connect profile. Then let me tell you one more thing. This use something named as iRule. Anybody would like to talk about iRule? Or if have ever worked?
iRule is basically for set up the security or something on VS, virtual server.
Okay, let me tell you. So let us say we have a router. Router has some of the default behavior. It will do like that only. Whatever program is set, whatever the code is set, whatever operating system is set. Let us say we have some of the firewalls. Again, same thing apply over here also. Whatever default behavior, it will be on that default behavior only. Now, let me talk about F5. Okay, maybe let me talk about F5. F5 also has a default behavior. Whereas what F5 team is saying to you, you can use your own scripting, nothing but the tool command language, okay, TCL. You can use your own scripting to modify even the default behavior of F5. As per the need, as per the demand, you can even do that as well. That kind of functionality is in our hand as a customer. I will be going to talk about iRule, don't worry. In the iRule class, I will be going to speak more about it. But currently, just I am trying to tell you that you can modify even the default behavior. Then if I will talk about the TCP IP stack, whatever we are using, everybody should be aware because that any protocol what we are using are having some kind of RFC, request for comment or whatever, maybe some kind of
Request for change.
Okay, request for change, right? RFC. So every protocol has their own RFC. Let me tell, F5 change the default RFC, and even claiming now that if you are using the F5 products, these are 3% faster than the normal TCP IP stack, because they are optimizing the TCP as such that their products are more efficient when it comes to the TCP IP protocol. So again, if you will talk about me in the configuration part, only one line of configuration, probably theory is much. Okay, but you should be aware.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
What is the difference between F5 and next generation firewall? I think both the things are doing the same thing, right? If I talk about,
I will cover this question in the ASM.
okay, sorry, yeah.
Okay, because let me tell you, when you are coming to the next generation firewall, and when we are talking about the advanced WAF, okay, ASM is the advanced. There also there are something named as signatures. I'm just, maybe you asked, so I am just giving you a couple of overview. There also we have something signature. Even if, although no, but even if they compare the signature of the F5, they cannot compete with other things. Other entities, what F5 ASM or advanced WAF can able to achieve to mitigate the violations and vulnerabilities, next generation firewall can't. That is the reason till layer 4 attacks, these firewalls are in the use. After that, layer 7, we are moving toward the advanced.
So basically, it works. Next generation works for only HTTP request, and the advanced WAF is for HTTP request and response as well.
Let me repeat again. It will work for L4 very efficiently, and for L7 also, little bit.
Okay.
But it is mainly for the layer 7 only. No L4, no L2, no L1.
Okay, so HTTP request and HTTP response both.
So it would be HTTP or HTTP.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Now, in this slide, we were just trying to give you overview about what is GTM. The new name is DNS. Okay. So GTM is nothing. It is an intelligent way to probably, I will say, resolve the queries. Okay. And on the depending upon probably what the data center you are using. So very intelligently direct the user to the closest or maybe the best performing data center. Again, DNS caching, resolving, securing from DDoS attack, lot of things are there. Probably when DNS class would start, we can talk about it. Okay, but that is the way, like how DNS will help us. Now, if you talk about ASM, okay, I'm just trying to give you the overview of the BIG IP family. Okay, one slide only for maybe 1 minute or 2 minute discussion we are doing here. So what ASM does is, ASM is securing, as I told you, HTTP and HTTPS traffic. So if there is some illegal request is coming, this request will not go to the server, but ASM will in turn send the response to the hacker, whatever shown over here, that nobody, you are not allowed because your request is the malicious traffic or probably the illegitimate request is, and I cannot entertain this. So that is your ASM working. But if your request is legitimate, it will be gonna go to the device and it will be giving the response properly. Any doubts so far, guys?
No, all good. Yeah.
Sure. Now, if you talk about big IP can have different versions. It can be have the virtual environment. It can be have the like your physical appliances. It can be having your VPRON system, again the chassis based, whatever using in your environment. Mainly, people are using this if it is small network or maybe not very huge traffic. Okay. If there is a special request, no, you need to have maybe physical appliance only, then probably you can choose as per your performance and maybe as per the different data sheet available. Probably need to look into the data sheet. Okay. So here we are using the virtual edition in our lab. Whatever lab you will receive, all of those labs have the virtual edition. Okay. Same functionality, nothing. If you talk about the certifications part, in FI, certification start with 101. Very basic, what is your STP or what is your maybe, OSI model, what is VLAN, bit like or those things. In advance also, so 101, when you cover, you can go for 201. When you have 101 and 201, you will get a certificate. For 101, you will only have the email. Now you will get the certificate. You would be certified administrator. Then probably you can go for any of the advanced thing, and then maybe the expert thing. So bit like that, we would be covering over here 101, 201, and some of the part of the 301 as well.
So these exams are center based or online based? Certificate exams.
Yeah. So last time they were providing the online also. Okay. So probably, yeah, you can go with the online as well. But if you will go for the center, probably it would be good. And the reason is, let us say if there is some kind of problem, internet problem, electricity problem, or some kind of desktop problem, always it is preferred that if you can go to the center.
So you will guide us when to write the exam, right?
Sorry?
You will guide us to write the exam also, because
yeah.
We haven't done it. So whenever we finish the LTM course, we can do the 101.
You can go for 101, you can go for 201. Okay. Even you can try for the 301 as well. But let me tell you again, people, that whenever we are reading over here, okay, you need to put your efforts. It's not like that after this class you can crack any of the exam. You will have a very good knowledge, but when it comes to the exams, everybody of you have given the CCNA, CCNP, or maybe any of the exam have something different, scenarios, different set of questions, different type of things. So probably I will say theoretically you are well prepared, but again, you need to go with couple of the techniques or couple of the books I will suggest. You need to go through them also. Okay. So here in this slide, I'm just showing you the big IP view, how big IP looks like. Okay. So probably you have seen this. Now, let me go ahead and talk about the packet-based design. So what is packet-based design is when some device is in between, but doing the routing, doing the switching, but do not intervene in between. It's not doing anything. Okay. In between, it's not making any kind of change, or it is not stopping the packet. So in this case, packet is going through the device, but not going to the device. It is going through, but not going to. Okay, it's not going to the device, but going through the device to the server directly. And such kind of thing is named as packet-based design. Whereas in F5, everybody of you now should be aware that in this case, packet will go to the F5 device. So request will not go through it. Request will go to it and will stop over there. That will be the end connection. Okay. So this is the session. This is the first session between the client and between the F5. And then F5 will initiate a session to the backend servers. When such kind of requests are there, it is named as full proxy design. So you can see on above, it is named as full proxy. Now, when you have the full proxy design, there are lot of features what you can use through your big IP F5 system. Why? Because it is adhering the full proxy design. Okay.
So we will see only the IP address of big IP on the server side, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay.
F5 will hide out all of the backend nodes. So for client, the clients are not aware. Either the F5 big IP is giving me the request response, or the servers are giving me the response. Who is giving the response? F5 is not aware about. Sorry, clients are not aware about.
So
Okay.
basically, on lighter note, we are fooling the client.
You can say, yeah,
Yeah.
you can say. So any of the device which are doing such kind of thing, you are doing a DNet, right? Destination net. But here there would be, maybe I will not confuse you. I will come again and later on I will show you these things. Using the practical also I will show you. Don't worry. I will show you whole the packet, but wait for the turn. Now, whenever there is connection is proxied, okay, there would be two sides TCP handshake. You can see one from the client to the big IP system. There is a three-way handshake. First side, second side between the F5 to the server. Again, three-way handshake. Now what happened? Try to understand. Whenever there is some kind of scenarios, like one side you have IPv6, one side you have IPv4. Here it can be IPv6 or IPv4 anything. Here it can be IPv6 or IPv4 anything. Let us say your servers are new, supporting the IPv6 only, or your servers are old, supporting the IPv4 only, but client is on the IPv6. What you can do? From here to here, let it be IPv6. From here to here, let it be IPv4. All the migration would be smooth, right? This thing, why it is possible? Because your connection is full proxy, right? Client is not aware who is giving me the answer. Then you can use compression profiles, but obvious nowadays very little requirement, because we have a very good internet speed, 1 gig connection, 2 gig connection, 25 or maybe more than that, right? 100 gigs probably. But yeah, in earlier days, it was 10 MB, 2 MB, 1 MB, 500 in even kbps. So during those time, this compression profile was very much used. Like from the client to the F5, data will be compressed. Now all the compression and decompression is done by F5. When it is going to the server, because it is the LAN only, okay, it will be fast. It is your WAN towards the client, so it will be slow, and over the WAN, compression profile can be used. So all of the work would be done by the F5 only, compression, decompression, and server will not be having those kind of problems. Speed will be good and client will be happy. So that kind of thing can be used using the F5. Encryption, unencryption, I have already talked about. Okay, the SSL certificate and the SSL thing. So from here to here, it can be HTTPS traffic, HTTPS. From here to here, it can be HTTP traffic. So again, the encryption and decryption work from the server is now, who is doing that? F5 is doing that. So SSL offloading, this term is introduced over here, but we will be going to talk about that later on. Why it can be used? It can be only used because F5 is working as full proxy. Then a lot of things, like if you want to modify the layer 7 data, okay, what kind of modification? Using the I rule, you can apply the I rule. You can apply some kind of profile named as persistence profile. Okay, or a lot of profiles, maybe sooner or later you would be able to understand about it. But when you are using these kind of things, you can modify the data. And why? How you can modify the data? Because big IP is acting as a full proxy. It is breaking the all the connections. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, no question, but now I understand the functionality of iRule. Basically, it modify and inspect the traffic, right?
Inspect, maybe no, but yeah, it, inspect
Or
also.
or redirect the traffic.
Yeah, maybe you can say. Don't worry, we will be gonna come to the IO later on. Okay.
I got one question. What is the best case scenario for this encrypted and unencrypted
Later on,
method? Right?
we will discuss.
Okay, no.
When there would be profiles and we will cover everything, I will discuss it. What is the best optimization technique? What is the best security technique? I will gonna
go. Like these design things, we normally do this unencryption from the server to F5 or not?
Depend upon the environment to environment also. Let us say if you are working in a very highly secured zone, even they don't believe on their own data center, right? Because F5 and servers would be into the same data center, no?
Yeah.
But if people are saying no, the traffic within my data center should be the encrypted, you can do that. So how you can do that, probably I will tell, but you can do that.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
Now, as all of maximum vendors are using the Linux and Unix, similarly, F5 also based upon Linux and Unix. So whenever you have the F5 console, probably I will say the CLI, there are two things in the CLI. One thing is you can run the Linux based command. Bash utility. We used to call it bash utility. Second thing is, bit like your Cisco commands, Palo Alto commands, Juniper commands, there is something known as big IP commands, right? Probably named as TMOS, or we can say TMSH. So what is this? This is traffic management operating system. Okay, so you can run the TMSH based commands. Again, very user friendly, very user friendly. Okay. And if you're good in Linux and Unix, probably you can use this. So I will be gonna cover both of them. Okay. I will gonna give you overview that into your production environment. If you need to run this command, in which scenarios you need to run this command. Okay. What are the best, maybe I will say, troubleshooting techniques when it will come to the troubleshooting, probably CLI will come into the picture. You need to do the captures, maybe the CLI will come into the picture. Lot of things we will be gonna cover when it will come to the like CLI later on, not current topic, but here. So let me tell you, you can access it through the GUI. CLI, maybe you can say the bash, TMSH, as I told you, TMOS architecture. Okay, there is something known as IF, probably we'll discuss later. Then any module, if you see LTM, GTM, ASM, APM, whatever, every module is using TMOS. That is very good, because later on you need not to learn different operating systems for different modules. That is a good way. Then you can use iRole. It is using the full proxy. Again, it can be SSL and compression profiles into it, and that is how what is inside into your big IP system. Any questions, guys? Okay. Then again, it is talking about couple of the things which is inside into your performance hardware, like your SSL isolated card is doing for your SSL, thing like encryption and unencryption, what I was talking about. Okay, that thing it is talking about in the B. A, it is talking about the processor. What is the processor? AOM is always on module. That is a very separate subsystem. Maybe you can say that for the light out management of your big IP systems. Okay, it providing maybe you can say out of band management you can talk about, but again not in use. Speaking frankly, okay, you cannot you generally don't use these things. Then yeah, you have the cards. Okay, if you wanted to boot it from the cards, probably you can do it through the card also. But that is again hardware. Maybe we are all okay. There should be VMs also. So this is the main slide I will be going to talk about. But before this slide, I need to say something more. Let me talk about VLANs. Try to understand it. Whenever you are using F5, not in all cases, I am just talking about the general cases. Okay, very generic specific cases I am talking about. Any F5 has 4 VLAN. One is from the clients, from the client side. These will be using external VLAN. Okay. One is going to the server side, server zone, named as internal VLAN. One is for the HA, named as HA VLAN. One is for the management, named as management VLAN. So there are 4 VLANs: external, internal, management, and HA. Any question, guys? These 4 ports are very important and you should be aware about it.
Clear.
Sorry, any question?
Clear.
Clear? Okay, good. So these are the 4 VLANs that would be in the use. And if you are doing some kind of provisioning or deployment into your environment, you should think about these 4 VLANs before proposing any of the solution into your environment. So that is one thing. Now let's come back over here.
And this is required when we are doing the setup in cluster mode, right? 4th VLAN is required when we are doing the setup in cluster mode.
HA VLAN.
Yep.
You are right. So if you will go to the big IP hardware panel, you can see these are the data ports. Okay. This is your management. This is your USB. This is for your console. This is your for failover. Okay. But if you will go for the virtual, you would be having 4 ports. One is for the management, MGMT. Then you have like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. You use it for the external. You use it for the internal. You use it for the HA. Any port you can use. Bit like same here. The Giganet port can be used for the your LAN or maybe for the WAN, and 10 gig SFP also you can use. So it depends upon the environment to environment what kind of ports you are using. Then you have some kind of fan ports, everything, the very generic thing these are. Probably you guys are aware. LCD panel, to see the LCD panel, what kind of error it is, or probably what kind of the device status, a lot of other things. You can use the controls also. Okay. but mainly it would be into the use when you are going into the data center and when you are doing it by your own. But usually people are not going to the each and every data center. People are managing it remotely. So remotely, how to manage it, that I will be gonna show you in the practical, don't worry. But yeah, these are the things you should be aware of, that there are 4 common VLANs that would be in use sooner or later. Then if you will talk about, if you need to take the connection of the big IP, you can go through the serial cable, you can go through the management, and default management IP is 192.168.1.245. If you will just convert this 245 into the hexadecimal, it would be coming with F5. So people used to say that when why F5 is using this IP, because they are promoting for the F5 using this, even this IP also. But yeah, that again, stories, I don't know why they are using this. Probably this can be the cause. Okay. So whenever you are opening your F5s, you can take the console through this IP. If your PC is also into this range. Again, these small terms I would not be going to explain, but you guys are aware. It should be into the same VLAN. It should be into the same subnet. Okay, then you should be using the putty. Okay, all those things probably you guys are aware, so I am not touching those parts. But yeah, if it is into the same VLAN and everything, you can go over here. But in our case, because it is lab, we will be using what? We will be using the serial connection. Okay, we just right click and we take the connection and we just make the IP addresses changes and everything into our environment. This particular screen is showing like by default IP, if you need to change the IP of the management with your respect, how you will use. It is saying just write down the config into your console, hit the enter, such kind of configuration utility will open. It will ask for the IP address, put the IP address. It will ask for the mask, put the mask. It will say that you want to put the management route or no. If you say yes, it will ask for the management route. And then you need to accept this, and your new IP for management will get set. Okay, so that is how probably your management IP will get set. But I will be going to show you in the practical, don't worry. Just I am giving you theoretical knowledge today. Okay, from tomorrow we will be starting up the lab, and I will be giving you the lot of overview about each of these topics. Then when you need to take the GUI, you can use any of the probably browser, whatever your interest is, and you just put your IP address and it will get open. By default, when you open it, there is no licensing, no provisioning. You need to do the licensing and provisioning. What is licensing? What is provisioning? We will do it in the lab. I will do it in front of you just to show you everyone. Okay, and then you have your own lab. You need to replicate all of this setup by your own into your lab that would be get assigned to you guys. Okay. So this slide just showing, write down HTTPS followed by the IP address, and that's it. You can take the console, put the username and password. The default username and default passwords are, maybe let me tell you, these are the default username and default passwords. Okay. For GUI, your default username and default password is admin. For CLI, your default username is root, your password is default. All in the running case, nothing capital, nothing else. For different devices, probably for Big IQ, Firepass, so we are just talking. But yeah, for Big IP utility, these are the things: admin, and root default. Command line, how to access? No port change, nothing you need to do. You just put the IP address, take the SSH on the port 22, simple. Say open, put out the root, put out the default, and such kind of screen will be visible to you. This screen, which is visible in front of you, is known as bash utility. As I was telling you, it would be the Linux-based bash utility. Then, if you will put the tmsh command over here, you will be into the tmos mode. Currently, you are into the config mode. You can see you are into the config mode, bash utility. But if you put the TMSH, you would be into the TMOS mode, or the team under the TMOS mode, whatever big IP related commands are there, you can use them. Sooner or later, we will be going to learn about that, not now. So when we need to do the configuration, how we need to start in the lab? Even in the lab, when you need to do the configuration, you need to start with very first thing, licensing. Then you need to do the provisioning. What is the difference between licensing and provisioning? I will be going to cover after this slide, but I am just giving you the list first. Put the root and admin, set up your network, IP address, VLAN interface, redundancy, config sync, whatever you need to do. Set up all of these things, and you are ready to use your F5 lab. So that thing we need to do. Now let's come to the LTM licensing and provisioning. For F5 licensing and provisioning, I will suggest you all just go to the blog.netminion.net. You can see this licensing and provisioning. Even you just go down and download it. Okay. Probably let me just make it bigger just to show you. How can I hide this view? Okay. So you can see what is licensing. Probably you can read about if you want to read, but I am just giving you the overview so that all of people would be on the same page. So what you need to do is whenever you are making your big IP device up, okay. When you are making it up, very first thing is you change the management IP. Second thing is take the GUI through the new IP. Once GUI is there, it will ask for the license. For license, there are a couple of the parts which come into the picture. You need to understand about those parts. The very first part is you need to go to the F5 website. Register yourself over there. Ask for something named as keys. You need to ask for the keys, and F5 will give you those keys in your email. Again, I will gonna show you all of these things through the picture of those all of the portals, but I am just first explaining you about these terms, how you need to do. So you need to have the keys that you will get through the F5 directly, and you need to have those keys into your email. Once you have those keys available, you will put those keys into your F5 box. It will generate something named as dossier. Dossier file is the combination of these keys, what you received from F5 website, plus your virtual edition platform information, like your serial number, like your what time zone you have, and different things it will be gonna cover. It will be an encrypted file. You cannot see those things, X, Y, Z, anything. Maybe I am just putting over here. This is encrypted file. This file will generate the license. You need to put this dossier file over the licensing server of F5, and it will give you the license. Again, you need to put back this license from F5 licensing server to your website, to your box, and your box will be having the license. That is named as licensing. Any question? Otherwise, I will show you all of those things in the pictorial way also.
One question, the keys which we will download from F5 website, it will be, paid service or what?
Free.
Okay.
It will give you for the 30 days. Okay, let me tell you one more thing. Give me a minute. Okay. Any keys will be valid for 30 days. After 30 days, you need to have new key. One email ID can use the 3 times. One time you can ask for 3 keys. So one time you are asking for 90 days, it means. And into 3, 270 days. So even one email ID can be used for 270 days. Getting my point? Now let me show you this through the pictorial way. Probably sooner or later I would be showing you in the practical also. Not the how to generate the key, because it is just registration and everything. So what you need to do is you need to just log in onto this particular link, www.fi.com trial F5 Big IP Virtual Edition. This page will open in front of you. Login or register. You just go to the login and register. When you log in, you can see this is your information, and you are just saying that, okay, I want to have the keys. Such page will appear in front of you now. Okay. This will say that, okay, what is the purpose of the trial? You just say whatever purpose you want to have. What is your job function? Whatever job function you have. Then what you want to have? I want to have Big IP Virtual Edition and Big IQ. Then it will say how many keys. And by default, there is 1. You need to select this drop down and you need to say, I want to have 3. Please note down this part, okay? The 4th part, I hope missing is there. That is missing over there. But you need to select 3. Then it is saying put the black is OKV, whatever in your case. And then just submit it. After submitting it, you will be having 3 keys for Big IP. And they are promoting Big IQ also. So two keys for Big IQ also you will get for free. But again, we need not to use that. We are just going for the Big IP. So it will say that, okay, thank you for your interest and blah, blah, blah. Within 30 minutes, you will get onto your email. Okay, such kind of like thing will get appear in front of you. You check your email and such kind of keys would be available. So if you see, you have 5 keys, right? 3 keys for Big IP, which we will be used. 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. And these are your 2 further keys for Big IQ, not in use currently. Probably if in your environment there are Big IQ, you can use, but in production, if I'm not wrong, everybody use the paid certificate, right? We are using the free service only for 30 days. What you need to do? You need to put this key into your FI box, and FI box will generate something named as dossier file. As I told you, it will generate the dossier. You need to put this dossier over the licensing server. From the licensing server, the license will get, you will get a license. You need to put back this license on your Big IP system, and then you need to activate the license. That is end-to-end part which you need to do. So there is the key. You need to say automatic method or manual. It will be manual. Automatic means if you have the internet connectivity, then. But if you don't have the internet connectivity, you select the manual. And when you select the manual, it will create the dossier. Okay. This is bit like your dossier file. Step 1, dossier. Then you can see in the step 2, this is the license server link. If you click over here, it will just go to the website and open a link. That is nothing but your F5 server licensing server. Okay. You need to copy this dossier, put onto that FI license server. It will generate the license and just put the license over there. See, like this is the license server. You need to put the dossier, accept the EULA. Okay, accept this and download the license. Download this license and you can put this license over here and your device would be licensed. Any question till here for the licensing part? Okay, I think so. There are
No question, but I think when we will do the practical, it will be good for us.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I will because I have the keys available. I will show you from there. Okay.
Yeah.
To have the keys is very easy. You need to go there and register.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you will see, the next part is the provisioning. Provisioning means what? Provisioning means that whenever your license comes, your license can activate the ASM also, GTM also, APM also. Lot of big IP products you can provision. But in our case, we need to provision only LTM. Okay, just heads up for all of you guys. Okay, do not use any other product than LTM. We are doing LTM. Please provision the LTM only. And one of the big reason is whatever RAM required for this product to be used, we have allocated only that RAM in the lab. If you will go for any other module, it will really misbehave, keep on crashing, and you will say that your lab is not working. Okay. So do not provision any other thing. In the LTM class, you have the enough resource for the ASM. Sorry, in the ASM class, you have the enough resources for the ASM. For the GTM class, you have the enough resources for GTM. But in this class, you have only the resources for the LTM because we are coming here for the LTM. So do not do any other thing. Okay. When it comes to the resource provisioning, select the LTM only. So whenever you are doing for the resource provisioning, you will be having the 4 options. One thing is dedicated. Dedicated means you are dedicatedly applying all of the resources, either it is memory, CPU, disk allocation, anything for that particular module only, like it is for the LTM only, dedicated to that or GTM. Otherwise, you can select none. None means it is not for anything. All of the resources are as it is. Then there are 2 more. One is nominal. What is showing over here? Nominal. Nominal means whatever resources we required, we are providing those resources. And the very last is the minimum. Minimum, maybe. Minimum means we are squeezing the resources as minimum as possible. So generally, in your environment, if you will go and you check the resource provisioning, it would be nominal only everywhere. Because sooner or later, you may require to have different modules to be get provision. So you should be having nominal into your environment. These 4, I hope everybody should be aware now. This is how we can have the provisioning. Okay. Again, it is talking about dedicated, nominal, minimum, none. I hope very small terms. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, let me proceed.
This nominal is dynamic, right? It can get, if we need more resources, it can get it.
We can use if we have the resources available.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Then when you do the provisioning, such page will come in front of us where already management port we have. It will ask for the host name. Please do remember whenever you are putting host name into your environment also. Okay, very important stuff these are. You need to select the FQDN, fully qualified domain name. So select any of the maybe whatever you like. You can select fi.com, cisco.com, netminion.net, whatever you want, domain. And here the time zone is important. Please use the time zone in whatever time zone you are. Okay. Reason is licensing may be the problem. Licensing server even check your local timing. So if you should not have the licensing problem. So whenever you are doing such things, use your local time zone only. Okay. Then it will ask for the username and password again. You can use any username, any password. Probably you can use admin root, whatever you want to use. You can use those, but do not forget about it. If you forget, you need to wipe out everything and you need to do from the scratch. Even if you remember one, you can change another one. But if you forget both, then you need to wipe it out. Okay? So that would be good practice if you can just put very easy username or password, because it is not the production, it is the lab, and you should not forget. Sure, we talked about it.
So in the lab, we use India time zone, right?
No. Your own time zone, or maybe in the lab you can use IST time. IST time zone, that is GMT plus 5.
Okay.
Then this screen will appear in front of us. You just click on finished, because I don't want to configure these things through the configuration utility. Just click on finished and your F5 LTM is ready to use. All of these things we will gonna cover later on. No need to use now. Okay. Just click on finished. Tomorrow I would be showing you everything, but just I'm taking you off. So in the F5, if you will click on this F5, it will take you on some of the page where you can see the help regarding thing and the different thing. I will be going to talk about it. But first it is talking about interface. Can you see this interface? 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. It can be 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Again, I will be going to talk about it later. But yeah, just I wanted to show you. So if you click on F5, such screen will come in front of you. You can go to the Ask F5, see for a lot of the articles, similarly to the Dev Central. A lot of things are there. Probably you just go and see the lot of documentation, conversation, and a lot of things from there. Okay. Here also you can see if you wanted to go for the system device certificate, how to change the device certificate. Device certificate means when you are accessing HTTPS, blah, 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 blah. You should be having some kind of certificate, right? Self-generated certificate. That certificate is named as device certificate. Again, later on, we will be going to cover about that, but just telling you, DNS, NTP, SNMP, you can use from here. Even you can run the setup utility again, the same setup utility like licensing and the provisioning. You can run that setup utility again. But yeah, we will not use from here. I will be going to show you that how to use these options. Okay, it is talking about the help. So in whatever module you are, let me go back. Currently, okay, currently I am into the software management. So if I will just go to the help, it will talk me about the software. If I will go into the network, into the interface, and I will click on the help, it will give me about the interface help. So this such kind of thing is known as context basis or sensitive help. So if I will click on help, it will give me the detail about the software management program. Okay. I just ran the slides because I wanted to talk about that in the whiteboard. I want to explain about those things. Whenever you are doing the migration, or maybe the provisioning, or maybe I will say deploy. You have two modes available. What are those two available mode are? Those two modes available are one arm or single arm, two arm or the routed mode. Okay, how it is useful? Useful is let us say, we have a firewall. This is F5. There is the LAN servers. I can say each and every traffic should come and go from here. Only one interface I am using. This interface would be for the external and internal both. And such thing is named as singular. If you feel like it is router on the stick, everybody is from the networking background. I hope you are aware. Before the SVI introduced, I don't know if anybody worked on it or not. We were using on the router on the stick. Anybody remember it? Or anybody worked on it? Router on the stick in the networking.
Yes.
Bit like the same, you can see. This is router on the
Yeah.
stick.
I have a question. So in this case, we will have only one interface, or how it is?
One interface for the external and internal. Okay.
Okay.
Rest for HA and for management, different. But for external and internal, or you can say the same VLAN for the external and internal.
Oh, same VLAN for external and internal.
Yeah, that is what I am saying. Yeah.
Okay.
That is why it is one arm.
Right. Any question to anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to understand how the traffic flow in that case. I mean, we
Traffic
use the same VLAN.
traffic will come and go from the same interface. That is what I was saying is that when traffic comes from the client, it will go to the F5. F5 will send back to the firewall. So from firewall, it will come to the F5 and F5 will send back to the firewall. Firewall now route to the servers. Okay. And again, IP address, I don't know how IP address will make the difference here. But
in this case, I see there will be asymmetric routing.
okay, how?
See, that client is sending the
Wait,
traffic.
I talked about only the request. Let me talk about the response also. But first, talk me about the request. Request is how from the client to the firewall. Firewall say that go to the F5. F5 will say go to the firewall now. I have checked you. Firewall say that okay, now go to the servers. F5 is sending you to the servers.
See, when
when server will wait for a minute. When server will do the response, it will again go to the firewall. Firewall maybe one. Firewall again send back it to the F5. F5 will again check the response and send back to the firewall, and then firewall again send it back to the. Now tell me.
My question is, if we don't have the firewall, the request is coming directly to the F5. It is one arm, and there is a servers that is also there in the same subnet. So in that case, how the traffic
remove
flow?
firewall. Remove firewall. Remove firewall. Remove firewall. There is a switch, and here are the settings. Now ask.
Yeah, now let's see how the traffic flow works, so we will understand better.
Tell me, what is your understanding? Tell me.
Yeah, now I can tell that. Yeah, now if there is a request coming, it will directly go to the F5 VIP IP, and VIP IP, one. Then VIP IP know that okay, these are the load balancing server I have. Then F5 will send that request to the server.
Two.
Then that is the two connection. Then the return traffic from the server. Okay, there is a return traffic. It will go to F5.
One.
Then it will go back to the client from the F5.
But here is the catch. It will not go to F5 because the server gateway is the switch. How it will go to F5?
Wait. We will not come to that question, Sachin. Okay, just think that it is not switch. It is F5. We will talk about those terms later on. Now think like it is to the F5 only. So you are right, Eunice. This is the flow. But in this flow, if you just compare it with the second flow, now let me give you the second flow. You will be able to understand by your own. If such kind of traffic is there, the request will go to the F5. F5 will send to the server. Response would be from the server to the F5 and from F5 to the right. And the only difference between them two is that one is having the same interface incoming and outgoing. Second have the different interface. That's it. That is the difference. What I was talking about. Only that is the difference.
Okay. So even if it is in single interface and everybody will have same IP address, for example, 192.168.1.0/24.
Same VLAN.
Same VLAN.
You say
But
same
it will work in that way with the F5. That's why you're
right. So that is what I was trying to tell. Okay. Any other question from anyone? No? Okay. Let me talk about Sachin question then. Now, Sachin, let's come to your question that what if server has the default gateway is different and different. We will be going to talk about something named as SNet. Okay. There I will not cover only this scenario, but I will be going to cover about some more scenarios, one more scenario, that how we can remove those kind of asymmetric routing.
See, I understand. If we set up the SNet, this the response we will send, it will fix. But if we will not use the SNet, there will be asymmetric routing because the default gateway is the router.
That is for sure.
Yep. So SNet is fine. I understand how net or PET works.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So we will use SNet in that case. Now, let me tell you one thing. From tomorrow, probably it will be applicable. Okay. These classes are for the 2 days. Okay. Everybody should be aware, but just I'm repeating in case if somebody is busy. Saturday and Sunday. 2 hours each. Okay. Starting from 3, ending at 5. I would be starting at 3-5 sharp. We'll give the 5 time buffer to everybody to get ready. Then at 4, I would be taking a 10 minutes break. So if anybody has some work or maybe some sutta break or something like that, if anybody has anything, you can take that time. It would be around 5 to 7 minutes or maximum 10 minutes probably. Okay. And then we will be trying to cover at 5 sharp. Okay.
Do you smoke, Radhe?
No, I don't. So
that's why you're getting.
But I understand. Who smoke, those who friends smoke, they cannot wait for 2 hours. So I used to give the break. Okay. So that is the thing. Okay. Now, I would everybody, I would like to request for having the videos. You need to register yourself for the video portal. How you need to do that? Please contact with Zoya. Okay. And have your video portal ready. Okay. Then for the labs, again, there are a couple there are a couple of, I know that there are a couple of signing process and registration process you need to do. But I would like to request you, please have patience. Do these things. It is very first time you need to do. Okay. Later on, probably it would be streamlined for everybody. So please cooperate with us. Wherever she say you that you need to go to the netminion.net, maybe videos, maybe labs, maybe different portals, please do the registration so that we can provide you the lab on the time, we can provide you the videos on the time, and we can provide you everything on the time. Okay, kindly cooperate with us and cooperate with our other people. I know first few days would be hectic for you also to do the registration part and each and everything, but yeah, it is first one time job only, so kindly cooperate in that. Okay, so for today I would be covering up for today because it is just the introduction class and I don't want to get overburden you. So from tomorrow we will be doing the practical also. I would be providing you some of the workbook, initial workbooks. Okay, you will get on your WhatsApp or maybe on your email ID. Again, Joya will send you. Okay, you please have those workbook ready. Although I don't prefer the workbook and I don't ask my students also to have follow the workbooks for whole of the sessions. But yeah, for first few days, you require it. I know, I understand there is a requirement because you would be doing the lab environment, and if you are not using it, you cannot, do maybe you stuck into the routing part or into the switching part. I don't want to waste our time over there. So if you see, this is the workbook. I hope everybody can see my screen. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
So this is the workbook. Here, I provided the, IP addressing also. So I will request you, everybody, again, do not change the IP addressing. Why I am saying it's not like that you cannot change it and you cannot play with it. You are free to play with it, but that will wastage of our time if you stuck somewhere and if I am resolving your routing and switching problem. So that is why it is my humble request to you.
Understood.
If you are doing it, you need to do it on your own. You need to resolve it on your own then. Okay, you need not to involve me because it will the wastage of time for everybody then. So here we are not for the routing and the switching, we are here for the LTM. So do not play with this IP addressing, but yeah, if you are 100% confident on your routing skill and the switching skill, do whatever you want to do. Okay, there is no limitation. There is no such thing that you need to use only this. But why I am saying, because I don't want to waste time for the routing and switching problem to get resolved every. So on the lab, if you will use this IP addressing schema, you will not have the routing or the switching problem for sure. You can focus on your LTM part, for which we accumulated all together to understand about the new technology. So you will get this lab guide. Probably you can have a look over there. Okay, and you will have the lab access also. You can just do all of the lab kind of thing. And I will be gonna explain about each and every component tomorrow. Don't worry, I will be gonna give you introduction and detailing about every page tomorrow. Okay.
So this is individual lab ports, right?
Yeah, till maybe to make your Linux open, Linux part to be up, to your lab part to be up, to your LTM part to be up. So all those things are included over there. Licensing and provisioning also there. Maybe you can download from the blog also. Okay, NetMinion.